All right, picture this. You've been out riding and you stop for a second. You're on a gravel road in the middle of nowhere and you go for a hike. You just stop for a break and you come back to your bike and you go to push the start button and it doesn't work. So you're sitting here, you're in the middle of no place, and all of a sudden your bike doesn't start anymore. What are you gonna do? For me, what I've done is I've installed one of these. What that allows me to do is to open up my bag and get out a few things, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So inside of one of the Moscow bags I've got a toolkit. Inside of that toolkit is a jump starter. So this is a NOCO Boost GP40, and basically inside of this I can unplug the back of this and plug it into this connection and turn it on, and it will start my bike. So I can plug it in like that, hit the power button. It's going to go ahead and apply juice to my battery, and I'll be able to start my bike from here. So if you want to see how we made this connection to the bike and how the GP40 works and some of the features that it has, please stick around for the video. Okay, so we were talking about the importance of being able to jumpstart your battery in case something happens and your motorcycle battery gets drained down. I am a huge fan of the NOCO charging systems. I've used them for about 10 or 15 years now in various applications. I have one in each one of my cars. I have their connections in a lot of the stuff that I have, and super happy with their product. So when it came down to getting one for the bike, I knew that I wanted to have one that had enough power to start the bike, but also to have reserve power if we need it for anything else. So what we settled on was the NOCO GP40. And this is a great battery pack. It'll charge, it'll do a motorcycle, it'll do a car, small trucks, but it has a lot of power for all the things that you need. Now in that kit comes a couple things. These jumper cables, which is typically how you would connect it. But it also has a battery terminal connector, which is what we are going to use. So on these bikes you have a Type A connector, which is typically fastened right here. And this is usually for a trickle charger. They are not designed to take the power that a jump start battery pack would have, and you do have the option of connecting some small jumper cables directly to the battery, but I think this is a better solution overall. One thing that you will need is if you go this route and you want to use those same cables to trickle charge if you use a NOCO charger. So we have the NOCO Genius 2, which is just a trickle charger. You do need to have an adapter that connects from this cable right here down to what will fit into that. So we kind of created a whole system, but to get this cable installed, it's pretty simple. All you need is a T25 and a 10mm wrench. The T25 takes off the battery cover. It also takes off the positive post, and then the 10mm wrench will take off the nut on the negative terminal. So let's get to that installation. So like I said, you just need just this one T25 bolt. And then this fits with two kind of rubber pieces. One that's right there and one that's right there. And this is a post that fits in the bottom one, and then this post fits in the top. So it's a pretty easy connection. So the positive post has this red cap on it. Pull that off, and we always want to pull the positive power off first, and it's also the last one to go back on, because if you don't, you're going to create a spark on the negative side. So again, this is a T25, and like I told you, this is shouldered, so if you ever wanted to put a alligator clip on it or something, you could. So now that's away, the battery has this rubber cover on it, kind of help things, and you just want to tuck that up out of the way. You can see the wire that comes from the Type A connector, and we're going to go ahead and take our 10mm wrench and go ahead and take that bolt off. So it's got a washer and a lock nut. I mean a washer and a lock washer on it. So you can see washer and lock washer. So we're going to leave that type A connector on there simply because we're going to use that to power an air compressor that we'll talk about at a later time. All right, so we're going to fish this just up around right now, and then we'll tidy things up. So our first piece is going to be the ground. Like I said, this has got to go on first. And so we're just going to wrap it right over top of the battery case because there's plenty of space for it, and fish it right back into the battery terminal. So we did end up getting a little bit longer of a bolt to go in just to make sure we had a good solid connection. So you can see how the new NOCO cable, the type A connector, and then the negative ground for the battery is right there. So everything's nice and tight. So for the positive battery cable, what we're going to do is kind of fish that down underneath this connector so that it tucks kind of right out of the way, and we're going to leave everything else connected right here. So it is kind of tight, so you just got to get everything kind of situated the way you want it to, and then just take positive post, feed it over all 3 of the terminal connectors, and then back into that terminal slot, and then just make sure all of your connections are not binding anywhere, and just tighten it down. And that's really it. So now we'll make sure that everything's where it needs to be. We'll take our rubber retention cable device and just kind of stick it right back over. There's some ears right down here that this connects to. And then we're going to take our cap and stick it right back over top. I think what we're going to do is fish this so it comes out right underneath everything. So it's tucked right nicely. And then we'll go ahead and test fit that cover back on. So like I said, we'll put the bottom one in first, and then the top one goes in its position, and just thread that right back in. And so this will fit right up in here. And what that's going to do is it's going to give us easy access to take the charger and plug it in right here if we ever need it. And then similarly, we can go ahead and add this piece, which would then connect directly to our trickle charger for when we store it over the winter. And we'll just take a zip tie and just tighten it right here so it's out of the way. So that's basically that. Super easy to set up, and now we have a direct connection to the battery if we ever need to jump start it. So this kit cost about $100. So it does have a light on it. It's got different dimmable sides. It's got flashers. It can flash on one side, strobe. So it does have some good safety features. And then it has a USB out too that is just a normal USB-A connector. So you can charge your phone off it. You can charge any electronics. And this thing is good for up to 20 starts on a single charge. It charges in about 3 hours to full. And it really only weighs a couple pounds. It fits perfectly right inside one of my tool bags. This just happens to be a rough enough engineering bag. And I got just a few things in here. I've got a couple other of these for the tools that I carry, and we'll go over that at a different time. But it's a great jump starter. Like I said, I have them for all of my vehicles, from the cars to the diesels that I have, and I have never had an ounce of trouble with them. You just have to keep them charged, and just like anything else, if you need some emergency power to start your vehicle, in this case our motorcycle, that thing is going to have plenty enough power to do so. So I hope you guys got something from the video. Super easy, super simple. You know, a way to take care of a dead battery should be part of the equipment that you carry on your motorcycle all the time, because you never know when something goes wrong, and this will always, as long as you keep it charged, will always get you where you need to go. So this is Dan. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video and you made it this far, give yourself a giant thumbs up. Consider subscribing, and we'll talk to you next time.